Greetings, YouTube. This is Part1 here, and I'm doing another dramatic reading. Now, people may expect me to do a dramatic reading on Chapter 2 of Gun Kitty Mobile Revolution, but I'm gonna do that after this one and the other fanfic I'm planning to do a dramatic reading on. This one is called Harmony of Chaos Chapter 1, written by Tan San. If I pronounce that name wrong, I'll leave it in the description box. Now, it's a classic My Little Pony and Sonic crossover. Like, there's a lot of fanfics for that on DeviantArt. And I noticed there hasn't been a lot of dramatic reading on these crossover stories. Well, I know one person on YouTube did, but he doesn't not have the right voice to read fanfics, to do dramatic readings, and I'm not gonna say who, because that's the last thing I want is that person to rage at me. But if you want to know who, I could just always leave the name down in the comment box. So anyway, there's been a lot of fanfics of My Little Pony and Sonic ones, each one where Sonic events wind up in Equestria. Rarely there's a case where the Equestrian main six go to Mobius. In a lot of fanfics, there are a couple of those who do, but not many. Just like there's not many of when Sonic enters the Equestrian world, they become ponyfied, and when the ponies come into Mobius, they come Mobianified. Well, in this story, that the Equestrian become Mobian become Equestrian thing will now happen in this story. So here we go. Let's dive into this crossover story scenario. Element of Chaos, Chapter 1 by Tansu San 1. Worlds Collide. Dr. Eggman paced back and forth in his latest fortress. After a time he had decided to return to his world domination schemes, but he found himself a bit of a loss. He puzzled around a bit, building a few new robot designs, but he didn't have any ideas. How am I supposed to defeat Sonic? He suddenly demanded in an expression. I tried any number of times, and everyone has failed. I need something new. But what? He flopped into his chair, staring at the control panel. This is why I took such a long break. I am out of new ideas. May I make a suggestion, Doctor? A different robotic voice said from nearby. Dr. Eggman turned. Ah, yes, but, he said, greeting the robot that came in. It was a roughly egg-shaped, with a bobble head that would only bounce up and down. It wasn't built for combat, but was very sturdy. He built it to agree with everything he said and to take abuse when he felt the need to hit something. At least that's what the blueprint says. He couldn't quite remember building this one, but that was nothing new. He builds a lot of bots, and not all of them by hand, and on occasion a few show up he didn't remember building. These tended to be his greatest creations. He figured his subconscious mind somehow built robots while he was asleep. You have a suggestion? I took the liberty of reviewing your records of your battles with Sonic the Hedgehog, and I believe I have come across something that may be useful. Jesper hooked himself to the control panel, and video started playing. This is the battle where you came closest to victory against Sonic the Hedgehog, and it seemed it was though the use of a robot beam Metal Sonic. Dr. Eggman shook his head. No, I won't use Metal Sonic again. He's far too dangerous, and I don't have complete control of him. Yes, sir, but that's not the point. Yes, but pulled up the specs. Your, your success came from using an opponent who could match Sonic in his strongest attributes, his speed. Logic therefore dictates that you utilize an opponent for Sonic who can match his speed, and one who would have every reason to remain loyal to you. Eggman nodded. I see. But how? I can't use a robot. The level of processing power requires to handle traveling at such high speeds necessary. A personality program to handle situations not included in base programming, and that's what went wrong with Metal Sonic. He became so obsessed with defeating Sonic he rebelled against me. Indeed, and that obsession destroyed him. You need one who defeats Sonic would be a means, not an end. Yes, but pulled up more blueprints. Some time back, you built a device that allows you to reach the worlds inhabited by your counterpart, Eggman Nega. By reviewing the blueprints, I have discovered that it can be used to access other dimensions as well, and I have found a world that has just the individual. On another screen image of this other world appears. Eggman examines the image. This world seems rather peaceful. A rainbow-colored blur spread across the screen. What was that? The screen paused and shifted back to the front of the blur. Zooming in, it showed the creature that was the source of the blur. Does the specimen meet your approval, Dr. Eggman? Blue. Eggman rubbed his chin. Blue has generally been a bad luck for me, but this one just might be useful. But are you sure we'll be able to manipulate? He took a closer look. Her? Yes, but nodded. Of course, sir. After all, you'll be on her way. You'll be our only way home. Now, this person got a lot of zeros before it goes to the other world. Lots of zeros. Anyway, moving on. In the skies over Ponyville, Rainbow Dash continues to practice her flying, slipping down back and forth amongst the clouds. Down below, she saw Fluttershy waving to her, and swooped down to her. Hey Fluttershy, what's up? Gazing over, she saw 3 smaller ponies with her, Sweetie Belle, Scootaloo, and Apple Bloom. What brings you all here? Fluttershy smiled. I was just telling them about how you used the Sonic Rainbow to save Rarity and the Wonderbolts at the Young Flyers competition a while back. They really enjoyed the story. Apple Bloom bounced heavily. Can you show us the Sonic Rainbow? Huh? Please, Rainbow Dash? The other two added with their pleading to her. Rainbow Dash grinned. Sure thing, Flizzes. Just let me get some attitude. She spread her wings, chuckling. She was never averse to showing off, and was more than confident now that she achieved it the second time. Flying up to a high altitude, she glanced down. Here I come, she shouted and dived. As she picked up speed, the arc of the light appeared in front of her. This was the first step to create the Sonic Rainbow. As she approached the speed barrier that few ponies could breach, as the arc began to approach a point, she grinned. This was getting easier every time. Suddenly, down near the ground, a strange light distorted appeared. What the? Rainbow Dash tried to alter her flight path, but at this point she had had too much momentum, and the distortion seemed to be pulling her in. As she reached the speed that would have triggered the sign rainbow, she ended the distortion, and our world went white. Down below, Fluttershy gasped as it seemed to her that Rainbow Dash had disappeared into thin air. In a flash of light, just before she would have achieved the sign rainbow, Sweeper looked up at her. "Was that the sign rainbow?" she asked, confused. Fluttershy shook her head. "No, it wasn't." She turned towards town. "Come on, let's get Twilight Sparkle." And again this guy's done lost zeros. Okay, moving on. Rainbow Dash groaned as she came back to herself. Her entire body was sore, and her head was pounding. She could also hear voices, just barely, and shook her head to clear it up. Why did her body change so much? This voice was angry and masculine. Perhaps the physical of the two worlds are too different. This voice was high-pitched, lacking intuition. The portal device is designed for passing between worlds safely. Perhaps they altered her body to be able to function here. We can figure that out later. So, she's still capable of what we need? Only one way to find out, Dr. Eggman. Shall I attach the neural manipulator? Yes, do so.